too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can't make them stay. At least that's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising.
Today we're reviewing Taylor Swift, which I own. She's the 2014 Suzuki Swift Sport. Let's get into this review. Yeah, so let's take a walk around Taylor Swift. I love the design. Suzuki have just done a great job with the design. It's so hard to design a small car. She's only 3.8 meters long, or 3.9 if you want to round it. The front headlights through the side profile is just so sharp, but yet so lovable, the design. So let's walk around Taylor Swift and let's check out some of the key design features that Suzuki have been able to achieve here. So this front grille over the normal Swift, just a big honeycomb grille, just makes it look so happy. Down the side, the lines across the doors feeding into the back tail lights just looks awesome. Just makes it nice and fast. A swooping design. Side profile, just really nice. Really nicely finished body kit from factory onto this new design rear diffuser with the twin exhaust pipes. By the way, this is not stock. This is just a custom catback exhaust, which sounds amazing. We'll hear a bit of that later. Different rear tail lights to the normal Swift. I think they look better. While we're talking about the normal Swift, I don't really like the design of the normal Swift, but it's just, they've done such a good job with it. These windows here, it looks like a GTR, the way it comes up at a steep angle and then slopes down onto the rear roof spoiler, which actually looks quite clean. I was thinking of going aftermarket, but no, it's just the design, just so clean from factory. So the Suzuki Swift Sport has all-round disc brakes, and the wheels are wrapped in a 195/45/17 tyre made by Bridgestone, and it's Potenza soft compound tyre. It's unheard of on a city car. These headlights also look like a Nissan GTR, so the way it goes from the front of the car to the side, just the general shape of it, just screams Nissan GTR R35. This front honeycomb grille just makes her look so happy. All around she's just a really happy and playful car. Now let's check out the boot space. So here we have 211 litres of boot space, and underneath the floor here we've got a second compartment, which is of a decent size. It's quite deep actually, but then underneath that there's what looks to be a space for a space saver wheel, but unfortunately it only comes with a tyre repair kit, as they can only put the space saver rim and not the tyre, which sucks. Now let's hop into the back seat. Nice wide opening. As you can see, I'm only 165 centimeters, around 5'5". Got heaps of headroom. This is me sitting behind myself. Heaps of leg room, heaps of headroom, heaps of foot room. The seats are actually up quite high. Back seats are really comfy. That's in the seat all the way back. That's still more room than an 86. And for a car that's shorter than an 86, that's mind-blowing. That's with the seat pretty much all the way forward, and that's all the way. Sitting in the interior of the Swift Sport. It's really well put together for the price point, even though there's some cheap plastics around the car. The touch points you touch every day, like the steering wheel, touch screen, the gears, the controls, the seats, it's all really well put together. These dials are really nice and clear, nice screen in the middle. The center screen is pretty simple, but it's enough for the basics of information. So you've got the temperature, the fuel consumption, the mileage and the time. As you can see, if we cycle through, this car's rated at 6.5 litres per 100. I'm getting 5.2, just with some careful driving around town, some spirited driving as well, but I mean, that's really good considering how much fun you get from this car. Sort of where the terms come from, miles per gallon. However, my only criticism here is the speedometer is in 30km/h increments, which is really annoying, especially when there's heaps of speed cameras and stuff everywhere. They have to just keep looking at the speedo, not on the road. Nice leather wrapped steering wheel of a good size. Just got the basics of controls, got the volume, hands-free, cruise control. However, the center screen does not display the cruise control speed. You have to go into the navigation system. Moving on to the center, the console area. Nice infotainment system with voice recognition, music, radio, Bluetooth, iPod, CD, SD and aux. You got the charging ports down here. Got your navigation, which is actually really easy to use. You just type in wherever you want to go. And it's all pretty responsive. Nice, easy to use layout. It's got phone as well. So we've got the knobs over touch controls. Just gives you a bit more feel, so you don't really have to concentrate much. You concentrate on the road. Plastic, it's got good resistance to them. The glove box is of a decent size. As you can see, it just fits a lot of stuff. 6-speed manual box. It's got reasonably short throws. It's quite notchy actually, and for a city car that's actually not bad. Not as good as an 86, but I mean, the feel's good for the price you pay for the car. Now moving over here, there's no center console, which is quite annoying. It comes as a $400 option, so if you don't opt for that, which I haven't, it's just an extra cup holder. A little bit of extra storage there. I don't know what you put in there, garage. On the front seats, they're of a neoprene form. As I do outdoor work and I get all dirty and stuff, so I don't want to get the nice material all dirty. Sort of looks like carbon fiber, but it's just fabric. Really nice though. Cold start time. This exhaust is a custom cutback. It's time to go for a drive. So let's hear what she sounds like. ...2014 Suzuki Swift Sport. Off we go. Considering the stiff suspension, it's actually going over this gravel road quite nicely. Now let's do a little acceleration. Nice smooth power band from the 1.6 litre naturally aspirated engine. It produces 100 kilowatts and 160 newton meters of torque. I think that's about 135. Suzuki have done a great job with the suspension. It's firm, but I wouldn't say it's harsh. Corners really accurately and quickly without compromising the ride too much. Shifting through this 6-speed manual box is such a joy to use. Overall, this car is just a enjoyable drive. I mean, it corners nicely, sounds good, it doesn't use any fuel. I mean, the list goes on and on. Revs to 7,000 as well, and the custom cutback exhaust is actually not too loud. It's got a silenced resonator, which sort of helps with the drone. Yeah, at low revs, at cruising speed, there's no noise. Taking this car to the track before, and it just handles really well. There was a corner at Marulan that the instructor was saying a lot of people spin off that track. There's different camber, it's a sharp corner, but the Suzuki just holds on. It's probably one of the best front wheel drive hatches that out there. It's back to basics. No special differential, no 200 horsepower machine. It's just lightweight, sharp handling in a well-balanced chassis. These low profile tyres don't give out too much road noise. Suzuki have done a really good job with this car. I mean, in every aspect, in terms of handling or the size of it. Man, such low speed limits around here, just constantly looking at the speedo. This car goes from 0 to 100 in 8.7 seconds, which is slow, but it feels fast thanks to its revvy engine. Revs to 7,000 up or 7,200 RPM with a linear power band, but it doesn't run out of puff at all. I mean, for a car that's priced under $25,000 for the manual version, I mean, it's a bargain. The closest competitor to it would probably be the Fiesta ST, which starts from, I think, $25,990 here in Australia. So in terms of the comparison between the Fiesta and this, I mean, the Fiesta, I haven't driven it, it's faster, but the interior is not as good. Like the whole entertainment system with all that Sony stuff, and these seats I haven't sit in the Fiesta, but this will probably be a good competitor to the Recaros in there. The steering is electric, has some decent feedback, but for a city car, I mean, the steering is light, easy to park, turns in accurately and well. Just do a little acceleration here. I've got one of my favourite corners coming up. It's cambered, it's a chicane, it's uphill. This car doesn't need a lot of power, it only weighs 1,050 kilos, same as an MX-5, but it can sit 5 people. So this road on here is the Royal National Park. It's in Sydney, New South Wales. Most of it is a 60 km/h limit with some 80k areas. That's, I don't know, 35 miles an hour to maybe 45, 50. I'm not too sure. It was 70 k's an hour, but they reduced it to 60 because there's too many hoons that go through here. But some nice roads. I wish the camera was on earlier, but a McLaren McLaren MP412C Spider drove past. Really nice car. I see a lot of McLarens in Sydney, so I see just as many Ferraris as McLarens, I reckon. Second gear, 3,000 RPM to 80 k's an hour. It just keeps revving and revving. Doesn't look fast, but it sure sounds fast. But as I said earlier, it's all about the corners, all about the handling characteristics. Such an easy car to bond with as well. Through the steering, through the shifter. You can feel the car jumping around the road. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just really informative. Some more sharp corners. Look, 2 McLarens in like 15 minutes. So we're going to summarise the review for pros and cons. So I reckon best car under $25,000, and along with that it comes with cheap running costs such as low fuel, just a light car, just less wear on the parts. It's spacious thanks to its boxy design. Equipment levels such as sat navs and on lights. Keyless entry and start. The only criticism I can sort of think of is no spare wheel, and the center console is an option. And I would rate it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Well done, Suzuki. Hope you guys enjoyed my first car review. Please subscribe down below.